Hey y'all, welcome back. So it has been about a year and some change since I went on my silent retreat. And if you'd like to hear more about my experience, I will link that video on the screen here. I just talk a little bit about what my experience was like and what you can expect on a silent retreat if you go on one. But I wanted to share more about what I've taken with me since my silent retreat and how it has changed me for the better. And I've got some notes so that I don't keep you here for too long. Okay. So, since I've been on the silent retreat, I realize that I do want to go on another one. If I can make a silent retreat a regular thing at the end of every year, I absolutely will. And I feel that it's going to be a very important part of my spiritual development and my business development. I will say that for this particular silent retreat, although it was only 3 days, it was just as impactful as a 10-day Vipassana retreat, which is a traditional Buddhist silent retreat. And since the silent retreat that I went on in November 2024, I would say that I have become so much more intentional with my time, how I spend it, and who I spend it with. Since the silent retreat, I have also been building in silence into my schedule. Now, it is not every single day, but it is most days out of the week. I do have a shared calendar with my partner, and I will put down from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. as quiet time for key. And my partner knows that for his safety and my sanity, I need that quiet time a few times a week at the end of every evening. So that is something that I still carry forward with me. Something else that I've taken with me from my silent retreat is welcoming more opportunities for silence. Now, naturally, I'm an introverted, highly sensitive, quiet person, and I didn't think it was impossible to invite more quiet in my life. But I invite more quiet in my life when I am doing chores around the house. Sometimes I will listen to an audiobook or listen to music, but I feel like cleaning without music and just moving around the house without music is a meditation within itself, and it shows me where my attention is going and what is rising to the surface. If I am home alone and want to eat a meal, sometimes I'm guilty of scrolling on my phone while I am eating, but since the silent retreat, I will either opt for silence and just really enjoy my food. And that brings me to an experience that I had in Japan. I forgot the name of the place, but as soon as I remember, I'll add it in the comments. But the translation of this noodle place in Tokyo is 24-hour depression noodles. And in this experience in Japan, you order your food through a machine and then you get your ticket and you sit at a private booth. I'm sure this is on social media by now, but you are sitting in a private booth and a little door is raised. I almost felt like I was in jail. It was interesting. I mean, I've never been to jail, um, but they hand you your food under a door. And so there are signs in English and in Japanese to enjoy the food and not scroll on your phone and enjoy the flavors. And as you finish each meal, you put it underneath the little door and they hand you the next part of your meal, pretty much like whatever you have ordered. And this was back in 2018, but it just brought me back to that experience when I was eating in silence on my silent retreat and when I choose to eat at home in silence, just really enjoying the food, looking at the colors, and appreciating what my hands have made and how it is going to nourish my body. Since my silent retreat, my intuition has gotten a little stronger. Now, my intuition has always been strong. I'm always working on developing it. It is like a muscle. But for me, it is knowing the difference between a full bodied yes and a full bodied no. Being on my silent retreat, that's something that I did practice recognizing that difference in my body. And so that is a practice that I still carry with me from my silent retreat. I'm not saying yes to everything and I'm not saying no to everything. After the silent retreat, it has made me become more conscious of my health and my body. I've always been conscious, but making sure that I'm getting my movement in, also making sure that I am putting healthy things in my body. And the silent retreat has really magnified that because during the retreat, I was paying attention to everything I was eating. And so I carried that home with me as well. The silent retreat has helped me to become more better at naming my needs and not being ashamed of that. And I have learned since my silent retreat and over the year that I've learned that having needs does not make me needy. And how can I expect someone to read my mind and know what I need? That is not fair. So, just really tuning into my needs and naming that is something that I've done a whole lot more of since my silent retreat. And the last thing I'll say is that this silent retreat helped me to become more compassionate towards myself and towards other people. And during my silent retreat, I mentioned in my last video that I had a meditation teacher just to keep track of me while I was in my silent retreat. And he mentioned that once you reintegrate back into society, you will feel more compassionate towards yourself and other people. I've noticed I'm more patient with myself and I am more patient with others. I'm not perfect, but whenever I feel myself losing my cool or beating up on myself, I just remember that feeling of compassion that I felt for myself and others once I exited the silent retreat. All right, that's all I've got for you today. Let me know if you have been on a silent retreat in the comments, and let me know if there's anything that you are taking with you from your silent retreat. And if you have never been on a silent retreat before, make sure you watch my video about why I went on a silent retreat and my silent retreat experience. All right, I'll see you later.